Man, FIFA editing has been made a whole lot easier since the last time I was here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you are watching this video. Welcome to another tutorial here in the Down in the Valley Gaming channel. My name is Edson Ochoa, and today, after a long absence of maybe a couple of years, I bring you an updated tutorial series on how to create clubs, how to add players, because there's been a whole lot of tools that have been created by the community since the last time that I've been here that have made editing so much easier to create all of these assets in FIFA, or shall I say now, EAFC 24, 25, and 26. So let's take a look at the first part of this series, and that is actually creating a club or a team per se in the game. Now, before you start any process of creating mods into the game, you always want to try to have the most up-to-date rosters, the most up-to-date squad file, right? That way you will have the most up-to-date transfers, etc, etc, etc. A lot of the times when you don't have it, you'll have issues where the database isn't correct between the actual game database that was downloaded from the latest update compared to the squad file. So sometimes the squad file will have some inconsistencies there with naming, and you'll get, team name underscore blah blah blah, right? Instead of it showing the actual name because the squad file isn't updated, right? So in order to do so, in order to get the squad updates, you will have to go here into the little cog that's in the upper left hand corner of your screen. You will go to edit teams, and then you will go here to download updates, and there you will press it. Then the servers will download the latest squad file over to you. Now, here's a warning. Always keep a backup of the squad file just in case you mess up. Don't go in here into this thinking, oh, I'm never gonna mess up. You'll always find a way to mess up, believe me. Now, you will need a couple of tools in order to mod EAFC 26, and that includes 25 and 24 as well. Obviously, you are going to need the FIFA editor tool, preferably the most up-to-date version. There is a free version. Of course, you can actually become a Patreon and get beta and alpha versions, but right now you can make do with the free version in order to mod EAFC 26, 25, and 24. However, you're also going to need the latest live editor as well in order to actually open the game. Otherwise, without it, you do run into a lot of issues. So they do recommend installing live editor as well in order to consistently open the game correctly. Now, another tool that you are going to be needing is the FC editor tool by Deco Ruiz. I do have the version 19 of the tool, but you don't need to be a Patreon in order to get the most up-to-date version of the tool. Patreons, if I'm not mistaken, they get access to them 2 days before non-Patreon members. So you don't really need to become a Patreon in order to get the most up-to-date. But if you do want to support his efforts, I do recommend becoming a Patreon member if it is financially feasible for you to do so. Another tool that you are going to need, unfortunately, this one at this moment is still locked for paid members only, is the tried and true Revolution Database Master, this time for EAFC 26. And I'm talking about EAFC 26 exclusively. I'm not sure if 25 and 24 are open to the public. I believe they are, but 26 right now is still a closed version. And so if you want access to it, you are going to have to be a Patreon member in order to have access to the program, right? So that's the only caveat to this tutorial, at least for EAFC 26, is that the tool that's needed for the squad file modifications is closed to paid members only. But the link to all of these tools that I just mentioned will be listed in the description below. So now you're finally ready to start creating a team in EAFC 26. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open up FC Editor by Deco Ruiz, and you're going to go into File, and you're gonna load the squad file for 26. Here, like I mentioned a little while ago, you can actually copy and paste and create a backup of your squad file. And so just like I did here, and I labeled it that this is the update from yesterday, 1/3/2026. So you're gonna open your squad file. Now the program is gonna be loading all the information, all the databases that are in your squad file, and of course, there we go. So now it tells you data has been loaded successfully. So now what you're going to do is we're going to create a team. So you click on the Create Team button, and you're going to enter the team ID of the team that you're gonna create. Now, in order to figure out what team ID we wanna give this new team, we always wanna make sure that we give it a unique ID that has not been used by any other team currently in the squad file or the database per se. So in order to figure out exactly what the last team ID EA has used in the vanilla game, you will have to open RDBM 26 or 25 or 24, depending on what game you currently have installed on your computer that you are gonna mod, right? So you're gonna open Revolution Database Master. You always wanna make sure you open it as administrator. And you're gonna open the same squad file that you are trying to edit. Now that the squad file has been opened by RDBM, you're gonna find the table that is called teams. So you're gonna look into this whole list of tables that are in the database. You find teams, right? So here you have all the team IDs of all of the teams that are in EAFC. So you want to know what the last team ID that has been used by EA is. You're gonna have to sort from biggest to smallest, right? So when you do that, you realize that the last team ID that has been used is 132706. This is why I want to mention something, and that is, now that you know what the last team ID is, you want to make sure you give yourself a buffer of IDs, right? Because you never know if there are other teams that are going to be added in future updates by EA. Take, for example, when I created the Red Crowns mod with a squad file that was, used, I think at the very beginning of the EAFC 26 cycle, the last ID, if I'm not mistaken, was 132630 for Zlatan FC. So I ended up using the ID of 132700 for the Red Crowns. Now you see right here with this latest update is, luckily, 132700 is not really used by EA because it jumped from 132681 all the way to 702. But it could happen that any future updates, you're gonna have a conflict, right? So you always want to give yourself a buffer of a couple of IDs, from the last team ID. So in this case, we can use, just to be safe, 132750, right? So that is going to be the ID that we are going to be using to create our new team. 132750, and we want to give it a name. Now, for this, the purpose of this tutorial, and to showcase some of the functionalities that the Deco Ruiz, the FC Editor by Deco Ruiz application has, we're going to be using a team that's not in FIFA, but that does have a team in Football Manager. You will see why. So in this case, considering that I'm a RGFC Toros fan, RIP, that played in the USL Championship, I want to use another Texas team in the USL Championship, not San Antonio, but I'll be using El Paso Locomotive. We're gonna give this team with ID 132750, we're gonna call it El Paso Locomotive. Okay, then you have some checks here. If the team that you're creating is a national team, so you can add national teams as well, or if they're a female team. So for example, if you're adding Liga MX Femenil, right, into the game, then you would specify there that it is a female team, right? And then you want to add a league, right? You have a couple of options, right? You can decide to create a whole league. In this case, let's say the USL Championship. If you want to go as far as creating the USL Championship, you can. You'd have to create it first. But in this case, we're just creating one team, right? And so for simplicity's sakes, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting El Paso Locomotive into rest of world. So you're going to come here into this list and you're going to find rest of world. Okay, so here we see rest of world with an league ID of 76. So you select that, and then you want to select the nationality of where the team is, right? So you can choose to search United States, and then you click on the create team button, and now technically the team El Paso Locomotive has been created. Okay, so now we have created a team, but we haven't actually added the details that describe the team. Well, you know, its location, its colors, and anything like that. That is still pending. So now we go on to the next step, which is adding those details or linking those details to this new team that we have added. So now what we're going to do is we're going to filter specifically by going to the league, rest of world league, and then we want to find El Paso Locomotive in this list, right? So now El Paso Locomotive is selected, and now you can go in and make any changes that you want. Now, obviously, we don't have a roster yet. We will get to that later on in this tutorial or in another episode of this tutorial series, but we want to edit the team details. So we're going to click here on where it says edit team. Okay. So here now we have a screen that shows some of the details of the team that we are creating. For example, we have foundation year, who their rival team is, what ball should be used as a default, the worth of the club, geographic information, the prestige and honor, how many titles they've won, the stadium information, the colors, and of course other miscellaneous details. What we're gonna do now is you have to go in and do a little bit of research, right? So now we have to go and find some information on El Paso Locomotive that we can actually go in here and be able to fill this out. All right, so in this case, we are, like I said, we are using El Paso Locomotive, so you can find any different sources of information that we want to fill out here. But in this case, we are using Wikipedia, since it's usually some of the first entries that compiles a lot of information for a lot of these teams. So in this case, we go into foundation year for this club, and we are going to see here that it was founded on March 1st, 2018. So in foundation year, we will put 2018. Now, we don't really have a rival team here yet. I mean, if you want to put in create San Antonio FC, then yes, you can, and eventually you can put here San Antonio FC, right? But it's not really necessary. So I guess we're just put in, Derby County, right? The default ball, you can go in, you can see right here, all the, and with pictures as well, the different balls that they have available, right? Usually USL Championship uses select, so I'm just gonna select ball 24, which is select. Now, club worth can be very tricky because a lot of the times that information, especially in lower league soccer here in the United States, is not really publicly available information. So you kind of want to make a guesstimate, just based around, the type of signings that they make, considering the, lower level league soccer. So they're not gonna have as much money of, like, let's say an MLS team, right? So you're gonna make, a guesstimate of what the worth is going to be. And you can do it just based here as well on, because based on that club worth, you see here, you know, how much money of a transfer budget you would have in career mode based on this value. So you can make a guesstimate, you know, and see what makes sense, what seems a little bit more realistic at whatever level, you know, whatever country, whatever division this team is in real life. I think we can even do, you know, 350,000, and that seems a little bit reasonable, maybe a little bit high, right? But it's pretty much going to be a guesstimate of what you think is realistic on a career mode basis. It might be arbitrary. I'm not sure if there are clubs that actually have that information is publicly available. You can probably do some research on it, and you find it, you can plug it in and see if it makes sense based on the EA logic. But in other cases, like the case of El Paso Locomotive, it's really not available. You're gonna have to make a guesstimate. Okay, now the next step of this tutorial is we're gonna have to go in and set the city of the team that we are adding. Now, this does take a little bit of an extra step because El Paso is technically not a city that is currently on the list of cities being used by the game of teams that are already in the game, right? So you're gonna have to create it from scratch in the language strings database that is actually in EAFC 26, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, in order to actually make it work and establish it here in FC Editor, we're gonna have to add the city in the list of cities within the text file that comes with you when you download FC Editor. In order to do so, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the main window of FC Editor. You're gonna go to File, and then you're gonna go Load Custom Cities.txt file, right? And then, so you're gonna go to wherever you have the downloads of the game, or not the game, but FC Editor, and you're going to go into Tables, and you will find a file that says Cities 26. What you can do is you can create a copy, you know, name it whatever. So you can put Cities 26 with El Paso, or whatever city, and then you're gonna right click on it, and then you're gonna select Open or edit to Notepad, or in my case, I have Notepad++. But we can use Notepad because this is usually something that all computers have. So what we're gonna do is, now that we have the file open, so you have your city IDs, the city name, the latitude, the longitude, and the UTC offset. Remember, this is a tab delimited text file. So we're gonna go all the way down to the last line of this text file, right? And we're gonna add the ID of the new city that we're adding. In this case, it's gonna be 984 for El Paso. You're gonna press the tab key. You move on to the next column. You'll add the city name, in this case El Paso, and we were gonna press tab again. Now, the next column in this file is latitude and then longitude. So you can go to, and you can use Google, and you can find the coordinates for the city that you're adding. In this case, El Paso, we have 31.76 rounded up to the nearest whole number. In this case, it will be 32 north. Now keep this in mind. For the latitude, northern values will have a positive number. Southern values will have a negative number. Same thing goes for longitude. Western numbers will be negative. Eastern numbers will be positive. So in this case, the latitude for El Paso is going to be 32. So in this column, we'll add 32. We'll press tab again. And then we're going to go with the longitude, which is 106.48. We'll round it down to 106. But because it is Eastern, it is going to be negative 136. Just want to verify. No, 106. My bad. Negative 106. Press tab again, and now we're at UTC offset. So we need to know what is the UTC offset. This is time zone related of El Paso Locomotive. So we can Google that, and we will see that El Paso is in Mountain Time Zone, which is UTC -7. So the value that we're going to be putting in this column would be -7. You can save that, and then you should be able to close this, right? And then you will go back to the FC Editor main window. You'll go to File, and you will load customcities.txt file. You choose the one where you made the changes, in this case, the one that says with El Paso, and it'll load the custom cities into the actual application. And when we open it again, we should be able to see, if we search it, we should be able to see El Paso in the list. So here it is right here, in the list of cities that this application is extracting. And then to load in latitude, longitude, and UTC offset, you can press the button that says load info from city, and it will actually populate it by itself with all the information that we added into the file. So now the geographic information has been set for the team that we're currently adding. Okay, so now we're going to be messing with the club honor facilities information. So we know El Paso Locomotive is in the 2nd division in the United States, right? So we can say that the international prestige of it is going to be very, very low. I guess we can put it at a 2. Domestic prestige, I mean, it's also going to be on a 2. We'll put international prestige as 1. Popularity, I would say that really El Paso Locomotive is really not that popular. I think they've even lost, during the last couple of years, the average attendance has kind of declined at Southwest University Park. So I guess we can maybe put it at a popularity of 4. Youth development, I would say that I believe they may have a youth academy, but it's really not. I mean, I would say that they do have a youth academy, because that's, if you guys remember, that Diego Luna, who's currently a star in the U.S. men's national team, actually came out of El Paso Locomotive, but they really haven't had a lot of success, I guess you can say it, but I'm speaking from the outside looking in. Don't quote me on that. I guess you can probably put it at 4. Profitability, lower league soccer really isn't very profitable. You can probably put like a 3 on there, but this is all pretty much arbitrary. Domestic league titles, they do not have any domestic league titles. They also don't have any cup titles. We're not counting Copa Tejas. Come on, let's be serious. They also don't have any continental titles. I mean, they are in 2nd division, so they're all going to be at 0. Then we move on. We'll skip team colors for now. We'll get back to that later. We'll go to stadium information. Here you can make changes to the stadium, what stadium you want them to play in inside the game. We do know that in real life, Southwest University Park is a baseball stadium. Clearly, we don't have baseball stadiums here in the game. So you're going to try to find a stadium that is really, really small. So you're pretty much going to have to go through like some of these stadiums and see which one looks the smallest that would be realistic. Specifically, looking at the generic stadiums. Usually the stadiums or the generic stadiums start with an underscore. But this one seems pretty small enough, and it looks kind of similar to Southwest University Park, at least just based on this angle, so we can probably go along with that. Now, as far as the actual, you can see right here that the stadium is Southwest University Park, which has a real world capacity of 9,500 seats. So we can put that here, 9,500. Custom stadium name, University Park. Okay. Goal net style, you can see right here, the colors is mostly like the color scheme of the goal nets. I believe they tend to just use regular white, so we'll go with 0. Goal net pattern, is it a square, are they hexagons? I believe they're squares as well. They do play in natural grass, so we'll keep it a natural. You can also choose artificial if you want. Pitch mold pattern, I guess whatever floats your boat. And you can see, pictures of these patterns, how it looks like in the game when you select them. Pitch color, I'm probably gonna go with pitch color 1. Pitch wear doesn't really look the best, since it is basically a baseball field, because they actually do share it with the El Paso Chihuahuas of minor league baseball. So they end up having to put in like grass over the dirt, of the bases. So it doesn't tend to be great. So we'll go ahead and put it as pitch wear 3. Primary goal net stanchion color. I believe these are the stanchions are where you have the flames coming up. So they tend to have, the little tower has like foam padding it with colors, and you can set them up as your primary, secondary colors, like that. If in the database which we'll see right now, if it has the stanchions enabled for the team. What we're going to do is we can open Photoshop or whatever image editing software you have. You can use GIMP as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a sample of some of these, some of their colors. So in this case, we have the RGB values. I mean, you can even use the hexadecimal value of the primary and the secondary colors. So when you go back to the team details screen, you can actually paste it right here. The hexadecimal value, come on, it won't let me. There we go. So now it's the navy blue. We'll go back to Photoshop. We grab the secondary color, which is this light blue. We copy the hexadecimal value. We go back to team details, and we will put it here as the secondary RGB value, and you will see right there. Now we can go back, now that we've already messed with, the team colors, we can actually copy these values for the team primary color, the secondary color as well, and the third color, it tends to be this yellow. We can grab it, the hexadecimal value, and then we can paste it right here. Oh, don't forget the I was gonna say hashtag, but no, don't forget the numeric value, el gato in Spanish. And so now you have your team colors right here established for the team and the database. Ethnicity, as well as the crowd's skin tone code, right? So this is the actual, the color of the skin. The ethnicity, obviously, if it's the Spanish, European, Latin America, etc., etc., etc. We don't have visual indicators of what these values indicate. You can probably, make a trial and error kind of thing, but we'll leave these two for now. Has Viking clap, basically, the Viking clap is basically, whoa, kind of thing. They don't have Viking clap, so we'll leave it at no. Do they have banners? For the most part, I believe that they do, especially when it comes to their supporters groups. So we'll set that to 1, which means yes. Do they use tifos? They usually do, so we'll go ahead and have it as yes. Standing crowd, we can, I believe that they don't, because they tend to have a decent amount of seating at Southwest University Park for the, so we'll set that as 0 if there is standing crowd. So like if you have sections that are standing room only, you can set that to 1. Crowd cards enabled, basically, where they're holding their little posters, and it creates, an image throughout the stands. We'll set that to no. Flags enabled, do they wave flags? We can set it to yes if you want, but it's usually not in real life, where it's only specific to the supporters groups. This tends to be kind of like a personal choice. I'm just gonna go ahead and set it to yes. Do they have scarves enabled? Yes, they do. For the most part, large flags, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, like when they wave the humongous flag, we'll set that to no. Have substitution boards, I believe that's for the cutscene for the 4th official. We can probably set this to 1. Skinny flags, that I'm not 100% sure, we'll leave that as 0. But that is pretty much it. So when you finish with that, you will go down here, up here to File, and then press Save Changes. And now it's going to give you this pop-up that says the team changes were saved successfully. And if you want, you can close this window. You can open it again just to verify and make sure that all these changes that you've made did actually save into the database, or at least the table that we're going to be importing into the squad file. So for the most part, it looks like everything did save correctly, well, except for the city, right? So let's try this again. Save it El Paso, latitude, longitude, UTC offset. Let us save this again. Okay, so there we go. Now it actually saved the geographic information in the table as well. Now the last step that we want to do, because it's imperative that this information gets saved into the actual squad file, because FC Editor itself does not save this information in the squad file. It only creates the text files that you're supposed to import into the squad file to set those changes up. The next step we got to do after we save this information to the team, obviously we're going to have to close the team details window. And so after that, we want to export edited data to folder. We click this button. We want to set a folder where we want to save all of these files that we're going to, or all these tables that we're going to be importing into the squad file using Revolution Database Master. And so what we're going to do is we can create a specific folder that you can always go back to and be able to access those tables. So we can use, you can use downloads, you can use documents, whatever. In my case, I created a folder in my downloads called Create a Team Tutorial. You can call it anywhere you want. And then you select this folder, and this is where these files are going to be saved that you will then access using Revolution Database Master. Okay, so now all the data was exported successfully to the selected directory. Okay, we confirm that. And then we can go in and open the file, or open the folder, and you can see these were all the text documents that we can actually use to be able to import into Revolution Database Master into the squad file. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Revolution Database Master. We have the teams table open. And so what we're going to do is we are going to press here where it says import single table. We're going to access the folder that we mentioned. We're going to access, and we're going to open the team's text document. And so that is going to import the information that was created in FC Editor. And now that you can see, now that it finished loading, you can see that it has now added the record for ID 132750, which is El Paso Locomotive. We actually have to also import the league team links table. So once again, same thing, import single table. You will find league team links, right? And you will see right there that that is the information for El Paso Locomotive. Then you also have to, because we did add the stadium, we also need to find the team stadium links right here. We will import single table, team stadium links. That's imported as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's verify. We sort. There it is. Team ID 132750. Stadium ID 468. And then the other one we have to import is, where are you? I just saw a Team Nation link. So that is the link between, that El Paso Locomotive plays in the United States. We go right here. We will import single table. You will find Team Nation links. right? And so now you will see that there it is. League ID 76, Nation ID 95, Team ID 132750. Now that we have actually imported all of this information, we can go in and save the squad file. So now once it finishes saving, we will go back to FC Editor and we will confirm that all of these changes are reflected now in the squad file. So we open up FC Editor. Let's load up the squad file that we just modified right now. Okay, so it did load successfully. And so now we go into rest of world and hopefully we will see El Paso Locomotive on this team list. And you can see, there it is right here. El Paso Locomotive. Right now we don't have any roster. So obviously it's not gonna have anything on the players list. Let's verify. We go to edit team. So now it just tells you it's missing manager formations, team sheets, mentalities, team kits. Okay. So we just go ahead and say yes to create it for now. And so now we just want to verify that everything looks okay. I think the only thing that is missing, and we'll go back to change it, is the custom stadium name, right? So that is another table that we have to go in and change, just to make sure that everything that we added in this tutorial does actually make it into the game. Okay, so for that one, the table is stadium assignments. So this stadium assignments table we will import. Stadium assignments, import it, and so you will see now that the team ID will have the stadium custom name of Southwest University Park. We'll save that again. And so now, after it finishes saving, so now that it finished saving, if we were to load the squad file again, let's open edit. Oh, we have to go back once again. Don't forget to the filter the team. So we go to rest of world, El Paso Locomotive, edit the team, just press yes. Okay. And so now you'll see that the custom stadium name is Southwest University Park. So now we have verified that everything that we added in this tutorial is actually now saved into the squad file that the game will read. For now, I will leave you with this, which is creating the team and adding the team details into the squad file, right? And if you have any questions, be sure to put down there in the comments. Any questions that you have of what we've gone through so far. I'll actually be paying closer attention to any notifications regarding comments, and I'll try to answer those to the best of my knowledge, or maybe even reference them in the next episode before we start talking about the next step, which will be actually creating players that we will be adding to the roster for, in this case, El Paso Locomotive. But until next time, I will leave you with this. Hope you guys had a great new year. I wish you all a very blessed and amazing 2026. And we will see you in the next episode of this EAFC 2026 modding tutorial series. Have a good one.